From Porcio, TopVelocity.net. Pitch analysis here, Matthew. We're going to pair him up with Kohi. Coming into leg lift. Both are inside drive leg. I'd say Kohi probably starts a little bit earlier out of the leg lift. I would say Matthew here is leaning more back towards back hip a little bit more aggressively, and Kohi is keeping his momentum going a little bit better. Sometimes if we lean too hard back to the rubber because we're leaning away from where we're going, sometimes that'll slow our momentum going forward. You can see that's happening with Matthew here. And then when he goes to accelerate out of back leg, I would say kind of, he does drive, but I would say not as explosive in the front foot. Both guys' hips are a little late, but Kohi obviously has a lot more energy moving in the front foot at this point than Matthew. Front leg position a little bit more extended with Kohi. I think, it's good to land in flexion, but it looks like Matthew's going to be a little bit more behind or down below the front knee. I like to have a little bit of the femur abducted above the knee to help carry that energy forward, and that's just because Kohi did a better job getting the energy going and getting a good explosive or accelerates that momentum really well off of back leg into back leg drive. So when Kohi goes into shoulder rotation, trunk really pushes out well. You can see when Matthew goes into shoulder rotation, not as much forward trunk tilt. So kind of getting stuck behind that front leg, having a hard time getting energy over front leg, which is really important to transfer all that energy built down the mound. About a 17-degree difference there in forward trunk tilt. And then Kohi even gets front leg extended to pitch release, and Matthew's not getting front leg extended. So I think going back to the beginning, it's just watching how momentum is carrying through these deliveries. You can see Kohi's starting a little bit more dynamically and then not leaning as hard back, which I think is slowing Matthew down. And then into his drive, he doesn't really get a lot of enough energy in the front foot with a good abducted hip position to carry all that energy forward with it, then adding to it with a good front leg. So I think Matthew's doing some good things here, keeping the shoulders closed, keeping the front side closed, staying loaded on the back side, but just needs to do better at keeping momentum accelerating, and when it hits front leg, putting the hips in a position or the energy in a position to really transfer forward through the trunk, and even accelerating that with the front leg. These are key things that will really have a big impact on velocity. Ultimately, too, it's going to support health because it's going to be a more kinetic, full body approach to getting energy to the ball.